Hello everybody! Today we're going to unbox, take a close-up look and test the Axis Carbon Fiber Effect Twin Watch Winder. So let's go ahead and open up the box. And let's go ahead and pop off the protective styrofoam and go ahead and remove the contents of the box. And let's make sure that there's nothing else that's hiding inside the box by removing the rest of the protective packaging. And hopefully I can get to the bottom of the packaging. Struggling a little bit here, but I just need to be sure. Okay, so that's that. And let me just sweep away the little bits of styrofoam and move the rest of the styrofoam to one side. And then of course we can take a look at the contents properly. So there is a little box here. Let's go ahead and open it up to reveal the power adapter. So there is a 3-pin DC connector power adapter. And let's go ahead and undo the cable tie, and I can show you the length of the cable, which is always handy to know because it helps with the placement or sighting of the watch winder. And let me shift the watch winder to the back so that I can show you the full length of the power cable of the adapter. So there we go. So it's quite long indeed. And okay, so now we can set the power adapter to one side. And then go ahead and remove the watch winder from its protective cotton bag. And let's set the cotton bag to one side as well. As you can see, it has a very nice carbon fiber effect on the outer surface of the watch winder. Now let's go ahead and open the lid. So there is a user manual for the watch winder. Let's go ahead and open up this envelope here for the user manual, and then we can take a close-up look at the instructions within. So it's a leaflet style user manual just a single page. Okay, so some information about what a watch winder is for and instructions on how to use it. So now we can set the user manual to one side. And then remove the inner protective packaging to reveal, good catch, the watch winder. So there we go. I'm going to show you a close-up look around the watch winder. So as you can see, the axis watch winder has a carbon fiber effect, and it's a twin watch winder with a central turntable for 2 watches, or 2 automatic watches, or more specifically 2 automatic mechanical watches. So weight-wise, it is a nice weight. Nice and heavy. And you can see there is a power button with a DC socket at the rear. So the reason why it's carbon fiber effect is because it's not real carbon fiber, but actually is a vinyl, or at least it feels like a vinyl covering. But there is a texture to it, so it's not completely flat. You can feel the weave of the carbon fiber effect, or carbon fiber. And of course on the underside there is a nice felt covering, and there's actually a battery compartment. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up the battery compartment. So it does take 2 AA batteries as an alternative power source, so it can be powered using a pair of AA batteries or the mains power using the supplied power adapter. And of course the cushions or pillows inside the inner compartment has come loose. Let's go ahead and put it back in there and then show you the inside of the watch winder box. So we have the central round circular turntable there that rotates 2 watches at a time, and then 3 compartments below to hold any slim watches or jewelry. So very cool indeed. And let me just give the top a quick wipe. And let me shift the power adapter to one side. It's nice to see that the top lid has a exhibition clear polycarbonate cover, so it is very strong yet very safe, as it will not shatter. Okay, now let's go ahead and put a couple batteries into the battery compartment just to give it a test run to see how it performs with just two AA batteries. So I do have a pair of Amazon Basics rechargeable AA batteries. Let's go ahead and pop them in, close the compartment up, and of course turn it on. And I can see like that the turntable is turning very, very quietly. Extremely quietly. It's nearly inaudible. So that's very nice indeed. Very, very quiet. And unusually, it's being powered with just two little AA batteries. From my experience with other watch winders of this size, they take size C up to size D batteries. So this is the first to see it being capable of running with just two AA batteries, which is very convenient because size C and size D batteries don't really come about, or you don't really find them lying around in the household very much. So AA, very handy indeed. Okay, let's go ahead and plug in the power adapter. So just like that, simple connection. And then plugging the adapter into the mains power, just like that. Of course, it's turned off at the moment. Let's go ahead and pop a couple of watches in there. So I do have over here my Swatch System 51. It's the first generation, which I've unboxed quite a long time ago. And it does have a 42mm case size. Let's go ahead and try it out in the bottom storage compartment and see if it fits or not. So as I mentioned earlier, that the compartments below are really for slim watches, so it may not fit at all, but let's give it a try and at least give you some perspective as to how large the compartments below are. So I have the watch strapped into the pillow or cushion, just like that, not too tightly. And then let's go ahead and pop it in. So as you can see, it does extend a little bit out from its compartment, but it's just fine if you have other smaller watches to use with it or stagger in those compartments. So not completely out of the question if you do have a larger case size watch, but 42mm, such as in this example with the Swatch System 51 here, is going over the limit a little bit. So I would recommend using only slim watches of 14 millimeters or under. Okay, so let's set that aside. I could have actually swapped the cushion around instead of putting it back on again because they look similar in size. So let me set the wristwatch right down and show you the cushions. So they are nice and soft and velvety. Okay, so set it back down. And then I'm just going to cheat a little here by sliding the pillow behind the watch case there. Just like that. It's a good thing I did it loosely, so there we go. And pop it into the turntable right there. And then of course, with the other one, let's pop it out. And I do have another blue-black watch here, which is the Rolex GMT Master 2, reference 116710 BLNR. And let's do the same thing. And securing it onto the pillow. So just like that. It is a little bit loose, but I can actually tighten the bracelet with the easy link adjustment. And there we go, that's a little bit more secure now. And you can see it just touches the Swatch System 51. Well, actually, it does clear it. There is just a little, maybe a millimeter between the two watches. So what we're dealing with here is a 42 millimeter case size watch with the Swatch System 51 and a 40 millimeter case size watch with the Rolex GMT Master 2. So there, some reference in terms of watch case sizes. And let's put the lid down. And then of course, we should turn it on by throwing the switch to the on position at the back. And just like that, you can see the two watches turning around on the turntable there. And the motor runs very, very quietly with the two watches spinning happily in there. And let me open the lid and see if you can hear the motor. Okay, so the motor is a little bit more audible with the lid open. Of course, you're not going to do that with the watches winding away in there. I mean, that's what the lid is for, is to protect the watches. But it does cut out quite a lot of the motor's noise. It is very quiet. So there are no selectable modes with this Axis carbon fiber effect twin watch winder. But the mode is, it turns counterclockwise for it turns clockwise for 5 minutes and then pauses for 15 minutes, and then it turns counterclockwise for 5 minutes, pauses again for 15 minutes, and then it repeats the cycle. So just like that. So 5 minutes clockwise, pause 15 minutes, counterclockwise 5 minutes, and then pausing for another 15 minutes before repeating the cycle. Obviously, we're not going to be able to see the mode take place because it'll just be too long, taking 20 minutes just to see it go in the opposite direction. But let me just turn off the power, pausing it for just a bit, and then just showing you the watch and seeing if the turntable is stable enough to stay in place with the motor turned off. So yeah, quite secure indeed. Does not flop about, even with two watches on there, with a little bit of weight applied as they are. And let's go ahead and throw the switch back on, and then quickly off and on again, and just to see if we can trick the motor into turning it counterclockwise or the opposite direction. But that didn't happen, but that's just fine, as it's not really meant to do that anyway, since it's not part of the preset mode. So that's the Axis carbon fiber effect twin watch winder. Thanks for watching and happy winding!